Welcome, guys. It's me. I hope you had a great night and you're having perhaps a great morning or afternoon whenever you're sitting down or lying down to enjoy a little fairy tale ASMR. Tonight we'll be reading from the Disney Storybook Collection, and I'll be reading a little story called Peter Pan. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to my ASMR. Tonight I'll be reading from Disney's Storybook Collection, Walt Disney's Peter Pan. I hope you enjoy. Long ago, in the city of London, there lived a family named Darling. Wendy, John, and Michael Darling would sit in the nursery telling stories about a far-off place called Neverland, where the daring Peter Pan and the pixie Tinkerbell lived. No one in Neverland ever grew old. Peter Pan and Tinkerbell came to the Darlings' nursery window one night to look for Peter's lost shadow. It wasn't Peter's first visit to the Darling house. He had come there many times before to listen to Wendy's stories. Peter was upset when Wendy explained how she was nearly grown up. Now, and that this was her last night in the nursery. But that man, no more stories, cried Peter, unless I take you all back to Neverland with me. That would be wonderful, the children shouted. But how will we get there? Wendy asked. All you've got to do is fly, Peter replied. With the help of a sprinkling of pixie dust from Tinkerbell, they took off and soared away towards Neverland. After they had been flying for a while, they saw amazing waterfalls. Mermaid Lagoon lay beneath them. There was a pirate ship, a forest, and an Indian camp too. It was the most beautiful place. The pirate ship belonged to Captain Hook. The captain had two enemies in Neverland, Peter Pan and the hungry crocodile. One day during a fight, the crocodile had managed to take a chunk from Hook's hand and had followed him around ever since, hoping for the rest of him. When they landed, Peter took Wendy, Michael, and John to meet his friends, the Lost Boys. Then he and Wendy went to the lagoon. There Peter spied the Indian chief's daughter, Tiger Lily, tied up in Hook's boat. They heard Hook ask Tiger Lily where Peter Pan's hideout was, but the Indian princess wouldn't tell him. I have to save Tiger Lily, Peter cried. He and Wendy followed Hook to Skull Rock. Peter challenged the captain to a duel. Peter was too quick and too clever for Hook. After a few minutes, the captain was in the water with Hungry Crocodile. Peter rescued Tiger Lily and brought her back to the Indian camp. Captain Hook got away from the crocodile and swore revenge against Peter Pan. He kidnapped Tinkerbell and tricked her into telling him where Peter lived. The pirates went to Peter's hideout, but he wasn't there. They captured Wendy, John, Michael, and the Lost Boys instead. Knowing that Peter would return, they left him a beautifully wrapped package to find. As soon as he opened it, boom! It would explode, and that would be the end of Peter Pan. Tinkerbell knew that Hook had planned. this, she had to warn Peter before it was too late. She made her escape and flew back to the hideout. Meanwhile, on Hook's ship, Wendy was about to rock the plank. Peter Pan will save us, she insisted. But the evil captain just laughed at her. Pan will never save you now, he cried with glee. Captain Hook didn't realize that Tinkerbell was already on her way to find him. Peter and Tinkerbell returned in a flash. Hook, this time you've gone too far, Peter shouted as he challenged him to one last duel. Wendy, Michael, John, and the Lost Boys watched in awe as Peter fought bravely to save them. At last, Hook and the pirates ended up in the water. They swam as fast as they could, with the always hungry crocodile close behind. Thank you so much for saving us, said Wendy, and now I think it's time for us to go back home. Before they could say Captain Hook, Peter had set sail in Hook's ship throughout the skies of Neverland. They were soon all back in London, safe and sound. Peter and Tinkerbell said their goodbyes, and the children promised never to forget the wonderful times they had had. As the years went on by, they would remember everything. Peter, Tinkerbell, and the pirates, Tiger Lily, and the Lost Boys, just as if it had all happened yesterday. Thank you guys for listening to tonight's story. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave me a comment of what you'd like me to read next. Love you. XOXO.